Uh, Jake, obviously the injuries probably make it a bit of a somber occasion, but you must be really chuffed with the character though that the team showed. I mean, after Elrich's horrible injury, you really lost Ruan, you Hannekon's off. I mean, you could understand if the guys were a bit rattled and shell-shocked even, but the way they pulled it out for five.
Yeah, Ken, I mean, I said now in the post-match there on the field, I'm really proud of them. I think all the disruptions, you lose two captains, one guy with the HRA, another guy off with blood. There's so many things that were happening, and you can imagine then we went down there after they scored that try. Some teams would have thought that's it. We're not going to get over the line today. So not only did we get over the line, we ended up getting a bonus point at Ellis Park as well, which says a lot about the character of this team, and it says a lot about the fact that you've got to play well to get a bonus point here. You've got to do well to beat the Lions at Ellis Park. So really, really proud.
The Lions obviously had patches where they did play really well. I guess it's a bit of a recurring theme though with the Bulls. If you had to make one criticism, is it loss of concentration? Is it?
Us.
Yeah, there are just periods when quite seem to play.
It's just like one of those frustrating things where the first half you get into the change room and you can't understand how you're down. And that is something that we speak about a lot. But one of the things we did say that before the game, we needed our bench to be really strong today. I'm not talking about selection. I'm talking about accuracy, etc., etc. And I mean, that's probably the best we finished a game in the last 2-3 seasons. So I'm obviously very happy that the bench obviously understood that this was a game they needed to make an impact. They needed to be accurate. And I mean, it was going from we could lose the game to getting a bonus point means a lot. It means a lot to the team.
And maybe Jake, just on those injuries, do you have any clarity yet on just?
The only thing, I just got a message from Elrich saying well done, which is quite amazing. But he's already gone to hospital. So I think when you get taken straight to the Mill Park Hospital, it's not, it's obviously serious. And the captain is still here. We'll have a scan on Monday. So it was an expensive game, a very expensive game. And there's a lot been said about how long the season is and how many players you need and all that sort of thing. So that's why I can only say I'm really proud the way they stayed in the fight, because and I've seen teams where they lose a captain and another captain within 45 minutes of a thing of a fixture capitulate. So I'm very, very proud of the way that they stayed in the fight.
And just how frustrating was it to go into the break and just 1 point down, because in certain instances it looked like you guys were playing more of the rugby than pretty much playing with your feet.
Well, we were all over them. I mean, we were in there 22 and we spent large parts of that first half. We had possession and territory. We just lost vital turnovers. And they did well, to be fair. I mean, that Q and Horn 3 or 4 times we were almost on their try line. In fact, one time we were over their try line. And when I looked again, they were in our 22. So they can't be underestimated. I mean, Idwell and Q are unbelievable when they get turnover ball and they can play away from where there's danger. But, as I said, I'd say it again, is that overall, I'm very, very happy with the way we finished off, and I'm very happy with the way that they managed and the character they showed by getting a bonus point, especially with all the disruptions we had.
What did the team change in the second half to turn it around so massively in the second half?
Well, I don't think it's so much. We probably held on to the ball a little bit more. Bench, as I said, if you compare the benches, we had 4 Springboks on the bench. And that is a massive bonus compared to what the Lions had on the bench, and I said that's what they have. And they looked at times like they were getting tired, and when they were getting tired, we ended up being able to put pressure on them, and that's just again because of the fact that the bench made such a massive impact on as a collective. It wasn't like only Akka played well or only Willie played well. I think collectively when they came on, that could quite easily have looked like it was a starting 15 that was playing at the end there. Nazam Carr came on, played well as well, So, it was, we spoke about it half time. We had said, we had done enough. We mustn't panic. We're gonna use our bench, and we're gonna make sure that our bench finishes up much stronger than them. and they looked fatigued at half time as well. I mean, that goes without saying because it was a very, very high tempo game. I haven't got the stats in terms of ball in play, but I would imagine it's one of the longest ball in play games that we've had in a long time. So, good for our players to actually frustrate a bit there. Good for our conditioning staff to see that we can play at a certain tempo at altitude and play for 80 minutes.
Coach, you mentioned Billy now, and his role at number 10 seems to change the flow and the attacking impetus of the side. Is there now a temptation to maybe the season going forward to play there almost exclusively?
He's played 10 for South Africa, so I mean, he's been away. He was on leave, and I didn't think it was fair for him to come straight in and just start in the team. I don't think it's fair on the other players either that have got a good result last week. But we've got 2 weeks now to prepare, and I think what's nice about those 2 weeks, it gives us time to reassess the injuries, look at what worked, what didn't work. I mean, one of the things that did work today, for us was the bench. So, tempted in terms of starting him, but maybe, who knows, maybe the way we finished is the way that we can win big games as well. So I think, again, I'll just sort of reflect, think about, as I said, 2 weeks, maybe use this week just to have a look and see who we can put in what position and see how the team gels or how cohesive they can be now that we've got 2 weeks to prepare.
There was also a hell of a battle at the breakdown, and the Lions managed to turn over a few balls to JC. Is that something that you have to work on, or are you satisfied with the position?
Well, one of the things we did today, which is a bit different to what we've done in the past, is we didn't go to ground as often. Kept the ball up in the air a lot more times when we went into contact, and I think that nullifies the fact that you can't slow the ball down or you can't get over the ball. There were times that we had to go to ground, and I think, to be fair, they were very good at that. But all in all, our strategy was, and you saw it today, was to keep the ball up in the air and not allow them to actually either get their hands on it or slow it down or turn it over. So, as I said, very happy with what we prepared and the outcome we got, especially because of the result we got as well.
And Jake, how important was it securing your guys' spot in that top four? With how congested the log is, I do know you've still got those 2 games in hand, but last year could have seen a bunch going up ahead of you, and even the Lions, cutting the deficit. So, how important was it now that you've now secured yourself in that top 4 for the next 3 or 4 weeks?
Well, the nice thing about it, to be fair, I don't look at it. I don't look at the log because the log changes in one weekend. But what I am really happy about is we get a bonus point away from home, and we got a few bonus points away from home. We've only played 2 home games in the UFC. Now, I mean, if you second or third on the log, whatever we are now, and you've only played twice at home, it's a very good position to be in. That's why these bonus points away and wins away are so vital for this competition. So, I don't, as I said, don't look at the log, and because that, I mean, the Lions, for argument's sake, they win today, they win next week, they win the following week, all of a sudden they're ahead of us, and that's how quickly it could change. So, it's, I repeat, I just think it was a great win, great result to get at Ellis Park, and it showed lots and lots of character and guts, because there are many teams that I've seen that would have said, look, losing 2 captains, getting a goal for HIA, HIA is 15 minutes, or 12 minutes, 15 minutes. That means you disrupt it for 15 minutes, even though Cameron came back on. And then you've got a blood bin for 10 minutes with Sergio. So, I mean, that's a lot of changes and a lot of disruptions that can change the course of the game. So, it's I'm just very happy that we've got a away win, as I said, and we'll have to regroup. I mean, there's nothing I can do. Those are the uncontrollables of coaching. You think you've seen everything, and then you get a game like this in 4 minutes, captain gone, 2 minutes after half time, co-captain gone. And those are things you never think are going to happen in a fixture. So we've just got to make sure we get back on, as I said, to work on Monday and have a look and see, what we can do for the next block.
Coach, you mentioned those disruptions of injuries and throughout the game. What are the tactical adjustments that you made in order just to keep the team the team strategy the same, or did you adjust it?
No. We always knew guys like Nizam, as I said, were always going to play the way they play. and that was to keep the ball up and run and offload. And when all that happened, he got on earlier than, in fact, he got on twice. He got on for Cameron for HR, and then he got on for Ulrich. So, you know, it was something that we spoke about during the week, and it wasn't like all of a sudden because the personnel changed, we needed to re-look at that. So, you know, when we spoke about it, and I sort of repeat, is that Lions are very good at the breakdown. Everyone, even the scrum half, gets onto the ball, even if you're close to the rucks. And you saw a lot of times today we went through the middle, offloaded. And some of the best tries we scored was by keeping the ball up and getting guys to run onto the ball where the Lions couldn't get off their feet and couldn't slow the ball down.
And I mean, they were in it for about 50 minutes of the game. Is that more or less what you had expected from the Lions side?
Yeah, I mean, you go and look at the results. I think it's 34-33, and then it's 26-24. You know? And this is probably the biggest result we've got against the Lions in a long, long time. So I did expect that, and that's because it's Derby. A lot of these guys live in Pretoria. A lot of them were at the Bulls as juniors. A lot of them played together in the even in the junior ranks or in the international under 20 and under 21 teams. So I mean, I knew it was going to be one of those games where they don't go away. They're going to fight till the end, and that's why I think I'm really happy that the last 20 minutes for me was we took the game away from them. And that's always a nice thing when you're a coach, because you know it's going to be a dogfight for a while, and you want to make sure you win the scrap at the back end of the game, and that's what we've managed to do today.
And lastly, just what is your one point of difference for that the Bulls presented today? That was the difference that brought the victory.
Yeah, that's easy. That's the bench that's got 4 Springboks on it. That's the bottom line. You know, when you've got a bench of 4 Springboks, you don't want to get to the point where we have a bench of 8 Springboks. But that's what you need. And you want to play at the highest level, and you want to compete in every competition. You want to make sure that you have international players playing week in and week out for your team as well.
Thank you, guys.
Right. Thanks, guys.